Gunfire has not killed Chicago drill artist Bloodhound Q50.
You got shot. Did you think like, yo, like I might die right now?
That ain't really going through my head. I had cousins that got killed to this, but yeah.
But the spooky hospital footage that was made public after his most recent attack caught viewers off guard. It's clear that the rapper won't be getting out of this one easily. I have the whole breakdown. Let's get started. The chaos. On August 17th, the internet was in flames. During that weekend, it was impossible to spend more than a few seconds on any rap website, including Reddit, TikTok, or Twitter, without having Q50's name featured prominently. The headlines were absurd. In St. Louis, the Bloodhound Q50 was ambushed. When a truck was struck by 60 gunshots, a Chicago rapper suffered severe injuries. Even obituaries started to go around. Unverified rumors circulated on August 17, 2025, that Q50 had been ambushed as soon as he pulled up in St. Louis after being set up with a fake event. In one of the first widely circulated statements, Raindrops Media One said that his truck had been hit by automatic weapons, seriously wounding him and several others. The addition of Lashy Bills made the story even stranger. There have reportedly been around 60 rounds fired at Q50's black truck. The tires exploded after the rapper was targeted for sharing his position on Instagram. Let's stop there. Think about how absurd that is. 60 rounds? It's not popular. It is an actual combat zone. However, considering the manner in which these rumors spread, no one even bothered to ask where the supporting records were kept. They focused on a few flashing lights and a dark truck, and their imagination filled in the rest. The actual spark that sparked this story was a video that started going viral on Instagram stories. The clip did not show Q50. There was no sign of somebody being wheeled into an emergency department. There was nothing save a heavy police presence outside what looked like a hospital, ambulances parked, and lights flashing. The caption read, "Please check on Bloodhound Q50." That was enough. Drill culture views reality as perception. Fans assumed the worst when they saw those lights. They remembered the last time he had been shot. They remembered the gunshot remaining in his leg and thought they were seeing his last moments in real time. Blogs ate it up. Hindustan Times, Hyperfresh, and Metrical all published stories about the purported ambush, referencing those extensively circulated posts. None of them had any actual confirmation. But in the social media age, hits are more significant than facts. That's when the issue began. Rival rappers in St. Louis started claiming credit. St. Louis rapper CTS Lou Wick swiftly went live and ridiculed the situation.
Back in, you know, like shit sweet again. If they come, I bet them trucks be bulletproof. You know, you come back, I bet them trucks be bulletproof. I bet you move way smarter this time. You hear me? I bet you move way smarter next time, gang. You can't come to the Lou bouncing that game on everything. You cannot come to the Lou bouncing.
That's good coding, which basically indicates that if you ever visit St. Louis again, you should make better choices. This is what we do, really. According to other sources, Real Houdini also boasted about being involved in the incident, while another suspected shooter claimed on Instagram Live that Q50 was the most well-known person they had ever popped.
I don't think he gonna make it, but we gonna see. I ain't never popped nobody that famous before. It's my first time. This talking about I work with the feds. What the fuck?
Then came the rumors of money beef. Numerous sources claim that the shooting was related to an alleged $6,000 theft from a local St. Louis artist and that Q50 had crossed the wrong person in the wrong city. Now, was there proof of this? Yes, there was more to it than gossip and speculation. But that's often all it takes for a rumor to appear genuine in the neighborhood. At this point, things started to go south. While some media sites spread the impression that Q50 was gravely injured, others asserted that he was dead. According to Rollout Metro News, he was indeed shot and murdered. At the same time, YouTube channels like In the Trap TV were uploading videos that claimed to be official confirmations. After gunfire crashed into a Q50 truck, many people were taken to the hospital. But here's the catch. Neither his label nor his management offered any confirmation, and there was no police report. or comment from the St. Louis Police Department. Absolutely not. Furthermore, when well-known publications like Metrical and Crispin G looked into the matter, they came up empty-handed and declared the whole thing to be a scam, most likely the result of clout chasers and internet chaos. But what was really going on? Instead of ignoring the speculations, Q50 embraced them. He posted a number of images of himself lounging in a car on Instagram hours after the disturbance, appearing to be in excellent health. The caption has an enigmatic bar. "I will be as well known as Big Papa, but not as well known as Chris Wallace." The reference to Biggie's murder was no coincidence. In essence, he was saying, "You guys want me to go out like Biggie, but no, I'm still here." And switchy watching all the fake news, laughing, he wrote in an Instagram story from Euro79 Squeeze, further demonstrating his aggressiveness. He then went live on Instagram, which was the turning point for a lot of doubters.
I know for a fact, y'all was hoping that shit true, cause I done y'all up so many times. St. Louis watching that, you know what I'm saying? Still ain't made that 60 back. That's f***ed up. A lot of people have you, right? You know that. Hey, DMG, I seen that little too. I ain't gonna say the other name cause he a civilian, but we gonna f you up too. I seen all that though. I'm gonna see a lot of y'all like this. Like how a lot of seen me. Like how a lot of you homies. I was the last face a lot of you homies seen me. I gotta let my wounds heal.
He was smiling. He had a filthy way of talking. No visible bullet wounds, no hospital bed, no IV. Some fans were relieved. Others voiced doubt, speculating that he might be hiding wounds. But it was clear what the fundamental point was. Q50 was alive, cloning, and moving the reports. And it's still unclear why they thought so. How then could a rumor that lacked concrete evidence, a police record, and official confirmation go viral online? Simple. His past was the first factor that weighed it. Q50 had already survived one real shooting. Fans knew that the bullet was still in his leg, so when they heard that he had been hit again, it looked plausible. Second, the footage seemed real. Despite not showing him, the hospital video's flashing lights enhanced the narrative. Third, competing rappers were the driving force. When individuals like CTS Lou Wick went live mocking the incident, it became difficult to tell the difference between trolling and actuality. Fourth, blogs needed to be clicked. Websites like Hypefresh functioned using the information without verification because, in rap media, speed is usually more crucial than accuracy. And finally, fans want drama. Drill culture depends heavily on spectators. A shooting rumor is more than just news. It's content. As you can see, this scary hospital film talks more about the atmosphere surrounding drill than it does about Q50 when the background noise is removed. When police lights flash in the suburbs, people assume disaster. It was a blessing and a curse for the Q50, because when it is spotted in the area, people think, another day, another body, another op pack, the curse. His name was being tarnished by fake obituaries. The blessing. He became extremely influential. Rappers who had never heard of Q50 before now recognized his name since the internet thought he was dead. And let's be honest, perception is important in this game. Even though it may seem ridiculous, there are times when surviving a false rumor is almost as beneficial to your career as surviving the real one. However, what else is known about Bloodhound Q50? Let's look into it. Blood was lost on the streets where Q50 was made.
Yeah, man, tell that check on Q50, man. They done parked this down there. The Lou is not sweet, gang. Black truck on flat.
The name Bloodhound Q50 probably conjures up a number of images in your mind. He is perceived by some as just another new rapper from Chicago who is trying to establish himself with his street connections. For others, he exemplified drill culture, which is a way of life, death, and music that are inseparable. On the other hand, if you actually read his account, one thing becomes clear. Q50 is not just about rapping around the trenches. He had been there himself. And the scary Last Hospital movie that goes with his name makes it extra hard to ignore the truth. Then let's run it back. Q50, whose real name is Cooper, was born and raised in Chicago, in the heart of a city that has been at war for a long time. At the tender age of 20, he had already seen more pain than most men twice his age. He started rapping informally in 2023, but the game didn't pay attention until he published Splash Brothers in 2024. His close friend and co-worker Lil Jeff was assassinated just 1 month after Bloodhound. That the timing was perfect was no coincidence. It hurt like hell. Anguish is often where stars are born in drill, and grief turned into bars. By 2024, Q50 had signed with Signal Records, a label linked with Columbia Records. And Long Live My Brother, his debut record, sums it all up well. In April 2025, it was published. He Most Certainly Killed Your Bruta. That title isn't required by the clean label. That's pure street thinking right there in the paragraph. But let's be honest, rap did not initially appeal to Q50. In interviews, he admitted that he wasn't initially much into the music. He was inspired to tackle rap seriously by Lil Jeff and Real Vert, members of his Bloodhound gang. According to him, Jeff would actually bring their music to label meetings in an effort to get Q50 into the spotlight before he was ready. Drill was more than just rhymes. It came down to survival. And Jeff knew that if he could get Q50 in the booth, he might be able to stay off the streets. Jeff, however, was not saved. Even his own parents admitted that Bloodhound Lil Jeff's life was the reason for his terrible death in June 2024, when he was shot 19 times. That loss affected Q50 more than anything else. When he went down for an interview to talk about the murder of his cousin Zoni, another family member, he did, in fact, remark quite simply that it was the first real tragedy of his life.
I had cousins that got killed to this, but yeah, like a person that was my everyday, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was the first heartbreak. Hell yeah, I can say that.
It was in this context that the Q50 first debuted. Death was no exception. It was a constant. His artistic creations and reality are inseparable. They are one and the same. And for that reason, when the rumors that he was shot dead in St. Louis first began to spread, so many people believed them. His past lends legitimacy to those lies. On that day, Q50 was shot. The story starts to get unsettling at this point. This is because his cousin wasn't the one who first encountered death. There was no sign of his friend, it was him. In an interview with Vlad TV, Q50 recounted the night he was shot in the leg, describing it in a fog as if his mind could not process the trauma in real time. It was alarming because he honestly believed he wasn't even the intended target.
I ain't gonna lie, from that day, I kind of like blacked out, but kind of found out I think that was like mistaken identity. Like I don't think I was the intended target.
That's one of the most terrible things about being homeless. You don't even have to be in the middle of the fight to snag a stray. Without reservation, he declared that he had done nothing to deserve the shooting. But bullets don't care about intentions. The most disturbing thing about his story is that he never panicked.
You got shot. Did you think like, yo, like I might die right now?
That ain't really going through my head. My number one, what I know, number one rule in life, I stand on is don't panic. You know what I'm saying? So I know like when you panicking.
Think about that. She was bleeding from a gunshot wound at the age of 17 or 18, and his instinct is to press against his own leg and wait for help rather than yelling or folding. That clip became well known online because it showed Q50's dualism. He is still a child, but his environment has already hardened him. To make matters worse, the doctors couldn't get the bullet out. Even now, it's still lodged in his leg. He is constantly reminded of his near-death experience by the metal in his body. For that very reason, the St. Louis myth misled fans. Knowing that this boy has already been struck and survived makes it easy to think that he may be lying in a hospital bed again. The past threw a vast shadow. What about the streets instead of the music? You must understand that in drill culture, every beef, every disc, and every bullet adds to the narrative. There was a certain aura about the Q50 because he had survived that first shooting. Scars are comparable to hood stripes. The fact that he survived only improved his reputation, despite his downplaying of it and his insistence that he didn't want the authorities to become involved or for him to be charged. That is the two-edged sword, though, because as his credibility grew, so did the threat. Operations don't give a damn if you're trying to make rap your career. They see you as a target anyway. It is also devoured by the blogosphere. Stories about Q50 putting out a mixtape one day would give way to rumors that he was shot with 60 rounds in a different city the next day. This cycle of rap fame, street rumors, and coming back to music affects a lot of drill rappers. Additionally, Q50 stated that he wasn't initially very interested in rap. He was under pressure from Lil Jeff, who was playing their songs for record labels and begging him to stay consistent. The fact that he was halfway in, halfway out shows that he was in the most dangerous position. Think about it. If you're totally homeless, you move accordingly. If you are fully engaged with the industry, you have handlers, structure, and security. But if you're caught in the midst, with one foot in the trap and one foot in the studio, the setup happens. You are found wanting at that point. When Q50 told Vlad about his cousin Z-Money's murder, it was also clear from his voice how much his family had lost in the interim.
It's like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's how it really is, like, damn. How to react, like, I don't know what to do.
It's not just rap in the lyrics, it is excruciating pain. From this point on, the unsettling visuals begin to emerge. As soon as the unverified medical footage started making the rounds with the caption, "Check on blood, Hound Q50," fans immediately linked it to this incident from his history. They remembered the leg shot. He still carries the gunshot, they remembered. When you saw police and flashing lights outside a hospital, it all looked too real. Hip-hop rumors propagate so fast because of this. In the actual video, not even the Q50 was visible. There was only a building, an ambulance, and speculation. However, supporters knew that he had previously been hospitalized. Thus, his past gave credibility to the claim. Friends on his old Twitter account claimed he was duped into attending a fake event in St. Louis, where his black truck was sprayed with 60 rounds. On Instagram, rival rappers boasted that they were the ones who took him out, according to other people. The plot wrote itself, and the movie was the supposed evidence. But as we shall see, the reality was less clear in later parts of this video. Before we wrap up, let's pause to reflect on the meaning of this story. Hound of Blood. Q50 isn't just any rapper who falls for unfounded rumors. The link of his name with spooky hospital pictures reveals something much deeper. How social media, drill culture, and street trauma reinforce each other in a never-ending cycle. He was not killed in a real shooting. He had lost his true family. He went into hospitals not knowing if he would stay. When people see footage of him clinging to this life, they don't question it. They agree to it. Thus, trustworthiness and trauma are weaponized in the digital age. And Q50 knows this very well. He resorted to cryptic posts and Instagram lives in response to the St. Louis rumors. He understands that his survival story will continue to get attention and keep his name in the public eye, even if the reality is twisted. But it's a slippery fact, because sometimes the uncanny, sometimes the video is real, and other times it's simply more gossip. However, nothing regarding Q50's activities and beef is more erroneous. We ought to discuss them. The breakdown. After the smoke cleared from the St. Louis rumors, an odd thing occurred. The internet split in two. I hope they are successful. One set of fans wrote, "Damn, that's tragic." The hospital had been bought by them. The video said their favorite rapper was barely alive. "He's not y'all, he's still alive," yelled fervent fans in Instagram comments. On the other hand, they cited his Instagram live, his smiling emoticons, and his slick Biggie reference. Then there were others who wanted him to fail. The trolls. Part of the chaos was caused by a simple misunderstanding. Actually, in October 2024, another young Chicago rapper, Q50, Little 50, whose real name was Anthony, was killed in a South Side ambush. He was only 15 years old. When blogs started circulating claims that Q50 was shot, many fans linked the two. The fact that Cooper, the bloodhound Q50 mule, was someone else was completely unknown to them. The ambiguity and proximity of the stage names also contributed to the conflagration. It is a frightening reminder of the pervasiveness of violence in our society. Q50 is not the only rapper making headlines for being shot. You have a number of them. That is the extent to which this cycle has become normalized. For now, we'll keep it a buck. This viral hospital video was shared by more than just fans. It gained traction through its operational use as munitions. One of the most well-known figures connected to Q50 in recent years is Chucky Wackham. Their dispute is intricate, a mix of the internet, music, and the street. Chucky even made a diss song at one point after hanging out with All Black affiliates and subtly mocking Q50 and Baby Chief Do It. The argument, however, was more than just poetic. When Q50 showed up on Chucky and other players during an NBA 2K25 anti-Opps session, it naturally spread to internet gaming, an example that TikTok ate up. That's absurd in the suburbs. PlayStation arguments aside, every little thing counts in the community. Social media, music, and even 2K lobbies become battlegrounds. The worst part is here. An unreleased SoundCloud single that was circulating had both Chucky and Q50. This suggests that at one time they might have been cool, or at least neutral. In drill, friendships swiftly devolve into conflicts once clout and other factions become involved. When the St. Louis report originally came out, fans most likely linked it to the Chucky scandal. The plotline "Opps got him" is written for him even though there is no evidence that he participated in the ambush. Next is the Black billionaire scenario. Black was far more direct than Chucky, who used sneak disses. In an interview with Vlad TV, Q50 flatly denied it, saying interviews.
What's the story with you and Billionaire Black?
Ain't really no story. I don't really know his honestly.
Okay, but wasn't there some sort of friction between y'all?
Hell no. I never, still to this day, hell no. I never knew his never even felt like I was in tour with him, you know what I'm saying? That ain't somebody I wake up and think about. That ain't somebody I go to sleep thinking.
He took this action to lighten the mood and reduce the drama, but Black was holding on to it. In interviews, he ridiculed Q50 and alluded to tracks that were aimed at him and even his late relative Lil Jeff. He accused Q50 of boasting on TikTok about having 8 hats, a slang flex regarding bodies or reliability. The musical intensity also increased. Make Me Mad PD1 was published as a CD by Black Clap Back with Indiana PT1 and Q50 and Screw. The back and forth caused their hostility to become a real drill world standard. Again, when the hospital film first surfaced, folks thought it was about these beefs. Every shooting rumor in drill is based on an opportunity, regardless of the existence of supporting proof. You might wonder why rivals would back a report that wasn't even confirmed. Simple, since perception matters more than reality. If others believe you were hit, it makes you look weak in the hood. You've scored with your operations. Therefore, even if you turn up later alive and healthy, that story already hurts you. For that reason, CTS Lou Wick was having a lot of internet chats. Stories about a $160,000 robbery or a St. Louis setup persisted because the internet is the new battleground, and it's hard to get rid of a photo that's associated with a hospital bed. The strangest part was how the Q50 handled it. Most rappers would have either made a serious press announcement or vanished. Q50, however, entered full troll mode. He made allusions to Biggie. He spat out laughing emojis. In fact, he went live and told everybody.
I know for a fact, y'all was hoping that shit true, because I done y'all up so many times. St. Louis watching that, you know what I'm saying? Still ain't made that 60 back. That's up. A lot of people have you, right? You know that.
No matter how many rumors you spread, you can't destroy my reputation. That's the good way of expressing it, and it worked. Instead of coming across as a victim, he turned the story into clout. As more people had misgivings, his streams grew. According to reports on his trolling from media such as All Hip Hop, he was reportedly seen sniffing an unknown drug on Live while he laughed off the gunshot charges. Zooming out, Q50's frightening last hospital scene tells a more thorough story of rape in the contemporary world. To begin with, drill rappers are living two lives. They are artists and street personalities stuck in a world where gunfire and rhythms coexist. Second, rumors spread faster than information. If there is no police confirmation, there is no problem. A blurry hospital video is all it takes to go viral. 3. Meat is what drives the cycle. All the rivals will claim credit, regardless of their role. 4. Survival is the most valuable thing. Q50's reputation was improved by its ability to survive both a real and a fictitious shooting. The scary part follows. Sometimes, rumors can turn out to be true. Drill claims that rappers have been targeted to deny being shot days after going live. The unsettling mood of the story is enhanced by the fact that fans are aware of this. The video might have been a hoax this time. However, who can predict what will occur next? The bloodhound Q50, who still has a bullet wound in his leg, is out and about. He has laid friends and family to rest. His name has become well known worldwide since people thought he was dead. There's more to it than music. That is trauma turned into something constructive. Although Q50 was not seen bleeding, out in St. Louis in the spooky Final Hospital film, it did show something even more horrifying. The world's tendency to think that a young black rapper is doomed is astounding. And as long as feuds, drill culture, and social media are still at odds, the blazing lights of a hospital will always make you think that a rumor is just one step away from being true. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other amazing videos on the channel. We value your time and look forward to seeing you in the upcoming video.